Welcome to the Stoic Quotient, where your clarity is more dangerous than any weapon, where silence is not neutrality, it's permission, and where we don't just react to the world, we decode it. Today we peel back the mask of peace, to expose the machinery of manipulation behind it. Let's talk about the lies in the name of peace, how media manufactures consent. What if the news isn't just reporting war, but fueling it? In this searing episode of the Stoic Quotient, we expose how media and government align to manipulate perception, distort truth, and manufacture consent for destruction, under the illusion of peace. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a wake-up call. If you've ever felt like something was off, this is the video you've been waiting for. War doesn't start with bombs, it starts with stories. It starts with the anchorman's calm voice, with the headline that says, "Necessary response." With the flag waving in slow motion behind breaking news. It starts with a script, typed, approved, and repeated, until you stop asking questions. Because to manufacture war, you must first manufacture agreement. The role of media isn't always to inform, it's to align. Let's call it what it is, propaganda with polish. The news cycle doesn't just describe events, it frames them. It tells you who the good guys are, who to fear, what to ignore, and what not to feel guilty about. When a hospital is destroyed, they'll tell you it was regrettable. When civilians perish, they'll say they were collateral. Language is the first battlefield. And once the media sets the narrative, they let it run on every device, every feed, every mind. Until dissent feels treasonous. The state wants obedience, the media needs ratings, institutions crave stability, so they collaborate. What you get is a perfectly staged performance, political speeches wrapped in moral language, news panels filled with experts from defense lobbies, breaking stories that break your spirit, not the system, and suddenly, you're afraid to ask, who's actually benefiting from this war? Because when media controls the frame, truth becomes treason. Here's the deeper truth. War is an industry, and media is the marketing department. Every bomb dropped is a contract. Every conflict prolonged means profits rise, defense contractors cash in, weapons manufacturers see stock surges, politicians receive campaign kickbacks. Meanwhile, media plays its role. It sells fear, urgency, division. They started it. We must protect our freedom. We're the moral ones. They sell you emotion, not facts. They keep you watching but not thinking. And in the emotional fog of crisis, you're more likely to nod than to ask, is this the whole truth? Every time there's a new conflict, watch the sequence. An enemy is named, a crime is alleged, retaliation is framed as defense. Media saturates the public with just enough horror to spark consent, but not enough truth to cause revolt. It's a formula, reused, recycled, replayed, but when you learn the rhythm, you no longer dance to it. Not because they're cruel, not because they agree, but because they've been spiritually sedated. They've been taught that peace means silence, that asking questions is divisive, that to support the troops means never criticizing the mission. So millions watch, and ache, and say nothing. Not out of loyalty, but out of fear. What Stoicism demands in the age of propaganda. The Stoics didn't worship popularity, they worshiped truth, even if it cost them everything. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism isn't detachment, it's discipline. The discipline to stay clear when the world floods you with noise. It teaches us to pause, to ask, who benefits from this narrative? To ask, am I being informed or manipulated? To ask, does this align with virtue or with control? How to see through the lies, interrogate the source who owns the outlet, who funds the expert, follow the money, and the truth often appears. Notice the language. Are they using words like surgical strike to mask mass death? Are they calling victims human shields to excuse genocide? Language is the smoke. Look for the fire behind it. Practice stoic stillness. Turn off the noise. Sit with your gut. Real discernment doesn't come from headlines, it comes from presence. Speak the unspoken. You don't need to scream, but silence isn't sacred, it's often strategy. Speak clearly, speak calmly, but speak. Because if we don't, what happens next is inevitable. More wars, more silence, more children growing up thinking violence is normal, because the adults were too afraid to question the script. This is the Stoic Quotient, where your clarity becomes rebellion, where silence is not virtue, truth is. If this message challenged you, good. We're not here to entertain, we're here to awaken. The next video will dive deeper, so please, return. Stay supported, stay loved, stay hopeful. Because even in a world drenched in lies, your truth is still sacred. Welcome to the Stoic Quotient. where you no longer consume the narrative. You rewrite it. Thanks for being here with us.